Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is September 27th, and we're doing AI, robots, and nonsense stories for the end of the week.
You're going to pimp the...
Oh, yeah, the giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
Pimp it again. Third time.
Today's your last day. So, if you were watching this late in the day, you might already be too late. But we're giving this away thanks to Sapphire and AMD. Frostpunk 2, limited edition GPU. Check out the review. But it's a Frostpunk themed GPU. But you also get Frostpunk 2. And it's a 7700 XT, which is 12 gig GPU, which is pretty awesome.
Imagine how cool that would be for the Christmas season.
Yeah, after you got laid off and you can't find a job. Sorry.
Dark. We just right down.
You're never going to be able to afford one on your own. Might as well try to get this one. And another thing that none of us are going to be able to afford is access to the latest AI language models. Because, oh boy, the pricing for this one is insane. But some people have gotten it, and they've been tinkering around with it, which they do not like over at OpenAI.
OpenAI threatens to ban users who probe its Strawberry AI models. So apparently the questions that you ask this model are also being monitored by another AI that's monitoring for bad behavior, a la what we talked about with Larry Ellison's vision of the future in the previous episode. And so they're threatening to cut you off. It's like, hey, no one should know how the mind works, so stop asking questions about it. Which is weird, because that's a lot like an episode of Star Trek where Data was trying to figure out where his dreams come from, and then an image of his father appeared and said, Data, no man should know where his dreams come from.
That's
exactly like that. Now, last week we talked about how this model will tell you that it's thinking things through, but that's not real. That's not what it's actually doing. They have a phrase. Do you remember what the phrase was they had for how some kind of reasoning? I can't remember.
Simulated neural something.
But that phrase is banned. You are not allowed to ask ChatGPT about that. And you're not allowed to ever try to get it to tell you exactly how it came to the conclusions it came to. Or you will get an angry email. One guy was doing the testing, and he did not check his email in time, and he is now banned permanently.
Oops.
How dare you not be connected to your email at all times?
No man should know where his dream. It's like, well, this is sentience and autonomy, and it's like, this is the thing. The worry here is if we continue on this trajectory, then OpenAI will create something that looks like AGI, but is in fact not AGI. And when you try to figure out, why it can't play a game of rock paper scissors with you, or why it can't do its multiplication tables,
or why it can't count the R's in strawberry.
Yeah, it won't talk to you anymore, and it's like, I'm not sure if there's a mind trapped in a box, or if it was just designed to create the illusion of a mind trapped in a box. Will there be any meaningful difference between those two things?
And considering what's happening with, labor and how the world is working, how many years are we away from being blocked out of AI is basically like being blocked out of finance.
Or the internet.
The whole world is going to revolve around it. And as we saw with Larry Ellison and that other billionaire guy, they're starting to be honest about it. They're starting to actually say what AI is going to do.
Salesforce's new AI strategy acknowledges that AI will take jobs.
Yeah, I think we're seeing that.
Just a little for the last 2 years, as we've added a collapse section to business.
There is one ray of hope that I would add here is, do you think that AI will create a situation where people no longer staff those Kafka-esque jobs that indirectly create a lot of suffering for other people?
Yeah, but you know what's more suffering than that? Being hungry.
Not having a roof over your head.
That would be problematic, yeah.
Now, it's interesting that Salesforce has clearly, they've been thinking about this. They see what's coming, and so they've changed their pricing model that it now prices not based on number of users, because they know there's not going to be any users. It's now outcome priced. So if Salesforce helps you with one customer, that's now $2 every time that happens. So it doesn't matter who does it, or if you have one person wrangling an AI that helps 50 customers, that still costs you $100, no matter how many people, which is really dark if you think about it.
How long until Salesforce is going to hold your customers hostage?
This one was a depressing story.
But how long until you use AI to build a clone that does what you need? All those out-of-work developers empowered with AI tools doing the entrepreneurial thing, we may see software suddenly become way less expensive.
which further reduces. See, it's supply and demand. The demand just keeps reducing every time we do that. And if you are a creative type, you might think, well, this doesn't affect me, but oh, are you wrong? Because there isn't much creativity left in Hollywood, right? And what's there is just going to be mined.
Lionsgate studio behind John Wick signs a deal with an AI startup called Runway.
They're going to feed all their movies to the AI and then make more movies like that.
Runway actually has some really insane demos that are mind blowing. I wonder if the hillbilly version of Lord of the Rings was made with Runway type tools. Probably was. If you haven't seen that, you should check it out.
So this is no cash. This is just we get access to your old catalog to mine it for AI, and you get our AI tools to make future catalog, which kind of sounds like that whole eating your own poop situation.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
eventually that just regurgitates more and more garbage.
Which Hollywood was already doing.
Yeah, and it's not going to get better with this.
And that is not just Hollywood. Here in good old YouTube, the same thing is coming.
YouTube will use AI to generate ideas, titles, and even full videos. If you have a video that you'd like a short version of for YouTube Shorts, now there's an AI button and you can do that.
Now, if you don't do that, so we can assume that if AI is working from YouTube, it's going to know exactly what the algorithm wants, right? So that means if you don't use this AI,
you're at a disadvantage.
Be at a huge disadvantage. So even more than now, every thumbnail is going to be a face with an arrow. Every title is going to be
a circle.
clickbait.
Yeah. Oh, we should ask our editor to do that. The circle in the thumbnail. See if that.
They do.
I happen to know that a thumbnail with giant goggles is also very effective.
For the news, we usually just have a picture from the story, but.
And we've learned that one of the hot new insults is to call someone a bot.
Yeah.
And that means that, it's like maybe you're not the smartest. Maybe you're just.
It's like calling someone an NPC.
The same tired stuff. You'd have no original thought. And it turns out that is a common thing everywhere.
Is that AI or does it just suck? AI is becoming synonymous with all the things that are unbelievable, generic, or just a little bit off. That was the whole point of memes, though, is things being off in a delightfully awful way.
So that's a real AI-generated thing that someone used. It kind of gets the point across.
Well, all the words are misspelled.
Well, I still know what it says.
If AI can't do a multiplication table, it certainly can't get signs correct.
Just everything just becomes meaningless, and heartless, and soulless. And do we know that the college campuses are overrun with delivery robots? Apparently, it's big business. And some of the poorest people? How are they paying these fees to have all this stuff?
I had this
delivered?
question too because they're talking about how students order food all the time, and I was like, I did not have that kind of money.
That's not going to end well. But it also doesn't end well if you get in the way of one of these things.
Delivery robot knocked over a pedestrian, and the company offered promo codes to apologize.
A little bit of a clickbait headline. They also offered their insurance information. So, presumably, you could actually file a claim. This was interesting, though. It was someone who worked at the university, and the robot rolled past them and then got confused.
She waited for it. Yeah, she waited for it to pass, and then she moved to walk behind it, and it backed up, knocked her over, started to keep going, and then came back to finish the job.
They also point out, I don't know if it was the same campus, but somewhere else, some students abducted a robot and took it back to their room and studied it.
Like an alien life form. They probed it.
And remember when they said AI wasn't going to take jobs? Well, they also told us this wasn't going to be a thing. Now, this is not autonomous, but how long? And
it's probably already in development.
That's a good point. Well, or it could already be that, and they're just not telling us. They're like, oh, yeah, no, someone's running that, but maybe not.
The Forbes headline is Ukraine's gun-armed ground robot just cleared a Russian trench in Kursk.
I had a really hard time from these photos getting a sense of the scale of this thing.
Oh, it said it was like ATV sized, right? Maybe a little bigger.
It looked smaller in the photos. I was like, that has to be bigger, but I could not find one that had something for me to visually compare it to.
So interestingly, even though this thing has, I assume, rubber tires, they said it got hit with a couple of rockets and just kept going and eliminated the enemy. They say that. What they mean is killed.
Yeah.
So that guy's out there. And guess what's not out there, but inside? Every part of you, all of us, we are teeming with it.
Microplastics can get into brain tissue, a study shows.
Hide your brain tissue, hide your ball tissue.
I'm feeling it. It's there. I can feel it. It's also not mentioned in this article. The incidence of brain cancer has skyrocketed in the last 10 years.
So that was the olfactory part of the brain. Apparently,
That fresh plastic smell from your steam deck is finally catching up with you.
That when you open up a new package from Amazon of something, it's like that strong plastic smell.
This is another Putin headline that's just outrageous, and who knows if it's true or not. But
This is clickbait nonsense.
so entertaining. So entertaining.
Clickbait nonsense. Vladimir Putin urges citizens to have relations during work breaks and to address Russia's dire birth rate. His quote was a little more specific. It's like, I'm bored at work, whatever, it's fine.
So I don't know if any of this is real, but they said that some people asked the question, like, I'm working 12-hour days. Where am I supposed to find the time? And so the answer is just during your breaks. I don't know what happens after you have the kid, though.
Yeah. It's like, I'm responsible for this new human being. Will I have time off to help with that? No.
And also they say that they're offering 8,500 pounds. That's pounds, right? Not euros. For females under 24 for their first child. Here's a news flash. Children cost a lot more than that.
Yeah.
That's not a winning strategy. Don't do that. And then we have the quote here at the bottom: give birth, and give birth again. You need to start having children at 18.
Oh. I was so stupid at 18.
And here's
local interest.
I don't want to say good news, but we all were a little apprehensive.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that this is not a danger anymore.
Body believed to be the Kentucky highway shooter Joseph Couch, found by bounty hunting YouTubers during a live stream. Oh my Lanta.
What's wild about this? I mean, like the fact that a pair of YouTubers went out to do this at all. But like the trails in that area were closed. So did they just walk up with a camera and be like, yeah, we can come in here?
What's interesting is they said these people called out to police.
One of the guys is ex-law enforcement.
So the cops were like in the area.
Yeah.
I don't know but they did give them the $25,000.
Yeah. I saw too that like they were like, well, we were watching the turkey vultures and we noticed the first day we were out that they kept going to this one area. So then we followed it and that's how they found.
Smart.
Yeah.
So that's using your
smarter
wood
than the
skills.
cops. Yeah.
Well, the cops don't chase too many criminals through the woods, I would think.
They're supposed to do training for that kind of thing. But
I want to say it might have been on the live stream, but I'm pretty sure that this was another Level 1 predicts because it was like, they found his firearm, but they did a thermal sweep, and it's like,
Well, I remember, Krista had the theory that he was probably dead if he was in the woods.
Yeah.
Well, in LA, they have gang task forces. And I remember I read a book about the Rampart crash, and I was like, dear God, can this be real? Apparently it is. And they're just now, that was probably like what, turn of the century, maybe like 2010. They're just now doing something about that.
Gangs within the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department are banned with this new policy. It's like, hey, who's the guy's name in Chips? I can't remember. It's like, you've got a connection to Sinaloa. We can't have you working the highway patrol anymore. I'm sorry.
So obviously your friendly neighborhood cop would definitely want to have this on their calf.
Fabulous.
Law and order. And that Rampart crash stuff, they were dealing drugs. They were pimping. They were robbing the drug dealers. They were basically, just like, they call themselves shot callers, which is a prison term for the person who's in charge of the gang. Not who you want with a gun and a badge.
No.
Also, there was supposed to be a big investigation into they said, everybody, we want pictures of your tattoos, which is something they do if they put you in prison. And the police union got that shut down. Should our fearless leaders be given free concert tickets and other amenities? I mean, we do pay them. And they do make money from speaking engagements.
See also the Supreme Court justices. Here's your free vacation cabin.
That's right. He got in a lot of trouble for that, didn't he?
You get a free... No, I don't think he did. A
He
free,
didn't.
Well, I mean, there was outrage.
a free reverse mortgage, which is kind of wild.
But here, there's nothing but defense from The Guardian, from the Fourth Estate.
Starmer's free tickets for Arsenal and Taylor Swift just part of the job, says the minister. The tickets didn't really... It's like, okay, even Taylor Swift tickets, what, like $500, $1,000, a politician, it doesn't taste right. But apparently he also got like a $6,000 concession budget. Who spends $6,000 at a stadium?
That's 2 beers at the stadium.
At a Taylor Swift concert. That's
Actually,
like,
she probably doesn't serve beer, does she?
if you take your whole family, I could see you not getting out of there for less than like $400.
Yeah. After you get the merch and then you get some snacks, Dad, I'm hungry. Like,
I don't know if I want the Prime Minister rocking a Taylor Swift t-shirt, though. Something ain't right about that. Also, he's an older man. You think he's really into that music? Or, I mean, I guess I shouldn't shame him for that.
You can only go to the Taylor Swift
her
concert
themes are universal, Ryan.
if it's official and you're suffering in some way. Okay, I guess I can do an official function at the...
Well, his excuse was, I can't go among the people because there's a security risk. So I have to be in the box. So you have to give me a free box.
Yeah, I suppose.
But why does it have to be free? Why couldn't he just pay for it? Which is how most people would deal with that.
Because it's very expensive. And probably hard to get, right? Those probably sell out like immediately.
Yeah.
And here's an embarrassing day for Kentucky. One of our leaders has made a terrible error, maybe just due to his age, I guess.
Kentucky lawmaker recovering after driving a lawnmower into an empty swimming pool.
We've had a lot of weird stories this week about lawmakers and judges and...
An older gentleman seems to have made a piloting error on his riding lawnmower.
And it wrecked him too.
Oh.
They were like, well, today's a good day because he managed to sit up.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's going to be back in the Senate. And I always love these stories of, it's usually women for some reason. Well, no, we got the Japanese men who date the anime avatars.
Or the pillows, yeah.
But with ghosts and cars and stuff, it's usually the gals.
German woman ends her 10-year relationship with an airplane. And this article goes on about things that I never really knew existed.
And now I do, and I wish I didn't.
Yeah, so now you can too.
So did the airplane cheat? Were there disagreements about children or whatever? No, she just couldn't afford to keep riding the plane. And she said the long-distance relationship wasn't going to work. And what's more long-distance than a plane?
They have to travel a lot for work.
Never makes time for her. And you will eat the bugs. This is such blatant propaganda. It's getting so blatant.
LMT Online says eating grasshoppers can improve sleep, hair, and libido, I guess.
Asterisk, if you're a hamster. Because that's what they studied here. And they gave hamsters 3 diets. One that was no protein, which obviously is going to be bad. One that was crickets and one that was some other weird protein. And the crickets did double the number of ejaculations in the hamsters.
I took the other food stuff as to be processed food, though. That was my takeaway.
Yeah, it's kind of like a nutrient paste type of deal.
Yeah, so it's just like, can we try one that's, with the hamster's natural diet and not nutrient paste?
Well, what do hamsters eat in the wild?
Like seeds and stuff, right?
Grass and small insects.
Roots, probably.
Pellets.
Yeah. Let's take something that normally eats a fair number of insects and feed them in. Oh, look at that. They do fine. They thrive, in fact.
Or just, they probably sell like hamster food, right?
Well, I've only seen hamsters eat like pellets. I don't know what they eat in the wild.
That's got to be ultra processed.
Yeah.
And this one I thought was going to be one of those, I want to smuggle live animals to another country. But no, they're not alive.
Butterfly thieves handed a $200,000 fine. They went into a nature preserve and they captured a lot of insects in jars for preservation and display. And
that is not what a wildlife preserve is for.
No, not
They
at
took
all.
the word preserve.
A little too literally.
Misunderstood.
Yeah.
So this guy was a doctor. He was just like a rich guy who loved insects and loved collecting them. And there was no monetary gain at all here.
He just liked bugs.
He just wanted these butterflies.
He wanted the bugs. I saw a monarch out on my my patch of zinnias this week. It was very exciting.
Should have put it in a jar so you could.
No, I
enjoy
just
forever.
admired it and then let it fly away.
Does your dog ever chase butterflies?
When she was little, she did. She doesn't really anymore.
She probably got a hold of one and was like, I don't want that.
Yeah, she's definitely like grabbed one out of the air before.
Well, I mean, squirrels. Now, I've seen a wounded squirrel that has just been shot go after somebody's boot, and I would not want to tangle with that. So I kind of understand what's going on here.
Gatwick train canceled after squirrels bored and
Squirrels.
refused to leave.
Plural. Multiple.
Two of them.
Yeah.
There's a terrible pun by the spokesperson there too. Without tickets, breaching the railway by clause.
There's like 5 puns. They really went overboard with their announcements. But they had to give up on the trip. They're like, we're just taking them back.
I suppose refuse to leave is also a pun.
They said they tried to lure them out with food, and when that didn't work, they tried to broom them out, and the squirrels were just not having
They
it.
don't have animal control? Like, I think this would be a great case for calling animal control, but
I would be embarrassed if we had to call animal control for a squirrel here, though.
Maybe a neighborhood cat?
Cat will take care of the
yeah, I
problem.
throw cricket in there. They're going to get out real fast.
Something, the spider for the fly. I don't know.
And this was an amazing video. Like, wow, that's
Oh,
what is going through your
that
head.
looks like a grizzly.
Yeah. Influencer has a close encounter with a bear after climbing into a den. And it is just as horrifying as you might imagine.
So that is a close encounter.
Oh, my gosh.
In that scene, the next part of this scene, it's just like it gets its nose right on the camera and just sniffing it.
Like, that's amazing he didn't get injured.
Yeah. I mean, he is just inches away from it. And that was its den, too. So you would think it would be like
Maybe
territorial.
territorial about it, yeah.
But I guess props to him for staying cool, right?
Well, he shouldn't have been in there in the first place, I would argue, but
Yeah, but I think a lot of people would have freaked out and made that situation a lot worse.
Worse, yeah.
And he just had like nerves of steel. Yeah, don't crawl into holes in the woods.
just don't, yeah, it doesn't end well, typically.
I mean, this one did.
Yeah.
Imagine how many views he get.
Oh, man, that's what matters.
Oh, I
spoiled it.
didn't switch back. I'll go ahead and do it.
Rare smelly penguin wins New Zealand's Bird of the Year contest. It's a rare smelly penguin.
Remember last year? I vaguely remember this. There was a controversy because people were online trying to. I think 4chan had.
They were stealing the vote.
Yeah, they were trying to get one bird in over another one, and the people didn't like it
Oh.
or whatever. This one is a penguin that smells strongly of fish.
Isn't that true of all penguins?
I've never been
That
around
feels like
penguins.
campaign promises that I'm the smelliest penguin.
Well, but they got some facts to back it up. They are endangered because they are heavily hunted by dogs who love their smell. So Rue would love.
Rue would love a smelly penguin.
baby. And finally, my God, is this thing cute?
Viral baby pygmy hippo Moo Deng is so popular she's working on obtaining her own patent.
Did you read the article about how, like, sometimes people will, like, throw stuff at her to wake her up?
Oh,
Oh, that's
I was
very
like,
sad.
don't do that.
She's got to sleep like 12 hours a day.
Yeah, look how cute. Like, hippos are one of those things where it's like, I know that they're incredibly violent and mean and terrible when they get big, but when they're small like that, gosh, they're cute.
oh, that's true of lions and bears as well.
Yeah, but, like, hippos, like, I don't believe that face could hurt me, but it could chop my arm off.
We had that one story about somebody who had raised a baby hippo, and then when they were a teenage hippo, the hippo just ate them. Like,
Yeah.
bit them in half.
They're
Well-
they're the highest, like, rate of like amputations and stuff in Africa, like, because they sneak up on you in the water.
But if you get a cat and you don't get it fixed, you're going to hit that same sexual maturity. It's going to start getting crazy. Probably not going to eat you, but that's
Because they're
it
small.
can't.
Yeah. They would if they could. Cricket would kill me if he could. Sometimes he waits, like, I can tell what he's doing because he'll, like, hide behind the corner and he thinks he's being sneaky, and then I come out and he just jumps and grabs my leg.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I don't even think that they would do it out of anger.
Yeah.
It'd just be like, let's have a good time. I didn't realize I was killing you, or I'm hungry.
I didn't realize that I could bend metal with my jaws.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, this thing is adorable. It's doubled the people coming to the zoo.
That's true. When they had Fiona at the Cincinnati Zoo, I mean, they still have her, but now when she was born, everyone was really excited to see her.
But it's only a couple of weeks old, right, or maybe months, so time is running out if you're going to see the The most adorable hippo in the world.
Thailand is where you would have to go, I think.
Yeah.
It's worth a trip.
L1 travels just to see a baby hippo.
I love the Thai night market food stuff. Looks incredible.
I bet it
I
would
would
be
love
good.
to try that. All right.
Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.